Hey guys, so this is Tim back again with another video, and yeah, I thought I'd do another vlog. You guys really seem to like the vlog that I did about freelancing as a visual effects artist, and I had some more ideas that I could discuss, so I figured this would make for a good vlog video, so here's another vlog video. Also makes for a perfect opportunity to point some other stuff out that I wanted to point out. For example, I wanted to let you guys know that I'll be speaking at the Houdini Hive worldwide. That's from May 18th until May 21st. So it's an all digital Houdini Hive. So normally Side Effects does these events. They go to actual locations and they do these events. But of course, due to COVID-19, everything is cancelled. So they come up with this idea of doing an all digital one. So that's super cool. And I was invited to also do a presentation along with a ton of other cool speakers. So I'm super excited. So hopefully I'll see you there. I'll be in the chat as well, so you can chat with me there. So about the topic of today's video, I kind of wanted to talk about the potential positive outcomes of this whole pandemic that we're in. Of course, right now it's all pretty terrible. I mean, a lot of people have lost their job. The movie industry has basically come to a halt, and everybody is like very afraid of what's gonna happen. And I thought I'd make a more positive video on the whole topic, about how I think some of these things that are currently happening might be very positive in the long run for the industry. So hopefully you'll hear me out and let me know what you think as well in the comments below. First, I want to point out that everything I'm discussing is just ideas that I've had about this. I mean, it's not facts. I mean, you cannot necessarily say that this is gonna happen, but it's just some ideas that I had that I wanted to discuss. So first topic I want to discuss is being a freelancer or having a small company during the coming recession, because of course, I mean, a lot of shops are closed now. A lot of people are losing their jobs. The economy is basically has grind to a halt. So it's only inevitable that we're gonna go into a recession. And well, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see like what is the influence gonna be for like freelancers or like small business owners. So actually I was thinking about this last year for like what would happen like to my freelance business if we were go into a potential recession. So I actually asked some people who were actively freelancing or had small companies during the 2008 financial crisis. And what most of them said was that actually there was more work coming in during that time, which might seem counterintuitive. But if you think about it this way, having advertising being done is quite expensive. And generally, maybe big brands will go to these big studios, and these big studios are very expensive. But if they want to cut costs a little bit, what do? Well, they will probably go to a smaller studio or to freelancers directly, which are cheaper. So there might be maybe less work at the bigger studios, but it might mean more work for freelancers or small business owners. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's also going to happen like this, but I found it was pretty interesting to see. And also I haven't really noticed a lack of work either. I mean, we're just getting started with this whole pandemic and recession thing, but I thought it was interesting to hear, and I thought I'd share that with you. Anyway, so now to the main part of why I'm actually making this video. So I wanted to discuss a little bit about the working from home aspect. So like before, I mean, visual effects was generally done on site. People would just come to the office and work in the office, and generally it was just said like it's not possible to work from home. Maybe you might do it very occasionally, but generally it didn't really happen that much. Also, I noticed that sometimes it's very hard if you're a freelancer and I really have to come in to some studios to do some stuff because their pipeline wasn't built around having people do it remotely. They didn't have proper VPN set up for software licenses and all kinds of stuff like that. So it wasn't really possible to like jump into their workflow remotely. So you'd go into the office to do stuff like that. And right now with this whole COVID-19 pandemic, I mean, it's a complete 180. Like every company has now invested in their home working. So now it's certainly possible. And I mean, there's no going back for that. I mean, there's the infrastructure is there now. So I think it's going to be for not only for freelancers, but for everybody. It's going to be a lot easier to do remote working. So let's say if you have a company and like you do a job for them, and then there's going to be like some final changes. You don't necessarily need to go into the office. You can do it remotely if they already have their thing set up, or you might not even need to go there anyway. I mean, You could do everything remotely. So there's a lot of possibilities there. Also, if you're an employee at a company, and normally you would go there 5 days a week, and then you might say to your boss, like, I want to work from home, but I mean, there wasn't really any precedent. I mean, it didn't happen, but right now everybody is working from home. So, and it obviously works fine. So maybe after this whole thing is done, maybe it's possible for more people to work from home a couple of days a week. Maybe you come into the office 1 or 2 days a week and work from home the other time of the week. And this can have a lot of positives. I mean, nobody wants to sit at home all the time, but if you could like go back and forth, it would be quite nice, and could lead to a much more distributed workforce and like a lot more possibilities in the people you can actually work with. And also when you're talking about that, I mean, a lot of people now need to live close to their companies that they're working at. And a lot of these big studios are located in very expensive cities. In London, there's like most of the big visual effects studios are all located in London. In the Netherlands, like a lot are in Amsterdam, and like those are quite expensive places. And of course, if you're gonna need to go there 5 days a week, yeah, you don't want to live very far from the city, because I mean, else you're gonna have to commute like 2 hours every time, and that's gonna be like, you don't want to do that. But what if you only need to go into the office 1 or 2 times a week? Well, then the story completely changes. Then it doesn't really matter if you're living further away. I mean, it's gonna be fine to do the commute like maybe 2 times a week. So it's gonna be a lot cheaper maybe for some people to, like, they can just go and live somewhere else, and they'll have more free time because they need to commute less. They'll have more money. So that's gonna be very positive, because all these visual effects doesn't really pay that well in general. I mean, of course it depends on what you do, but like in general, like it's a lot of studios really underpay. And then if you also need to live in a very expensive city, that's not really that great of a combo. Well, if you then suddenly can live somewhere that's cheaper, well, that's basically pretty good, right? Also, if we're talking about these real estate prices, a lot of these big studios, as I mentioned before, are in these big cities, and the real estate there is super expensive. So they have these big buildings, and they pay a lot of rent for that. But what if these studios can now suddenly, they discover that, wait a minute, 1/3 of our staff is constantly working from home. So why do we need this big building? Maybe we can downscale, maybe we can have a smaller building. So it's going to be, the rent is going to come down. Also, why would they need to stay in these big cities? I mean, if a lot of more people are working remotely, and like the whole infrastructure is now there, that is not necessarily necessary to sort of always come into the office or have meetings in person. I mean, like a lot of stuff is still going to be in person, but it's not. It might, for some studios, make more sense to move out of the city. There's going to be cheaper real estate, so it's going to be cheaper. So what might that mean? It might mean a lot of things. It might mean that maybe it could mean a pay raise for people who are working for the company, or it might mean that they can hire more people, and then reducing the work pressure, because as we all know, I mean, work pressure in visual effects is like quite high. So that's going to be quite a big thing. Also, if you can work from home like every now and then, if you're if you're during crunch time at a studio and it's really super stressful, like it can lead to burnout for a lot of people. If you're doing that month on month and like year on year, it can really lead to like severe like burnout. If you can work from home every now and then, it might really reduce your stress levels, and it might not be so bad to like maybe do a longer day. Like you might fire up a render or a simulation and then go chill for a bit and then come back. And I really think this can be a very positive thing for the industry in the long term, of course. I mean, we're not at the end of this whole pandemic. We still need to get through this. In the short term, it's gonna cost a lot of people their job. A lot of people are gonna lose money, which of course is terrible. But I just wanted to put these thoughts out there, and I think in the long term it really might have some positive aspects, and we're already seeing that now, and I'm really excited to see where this is all going to go. So let me hear your thoughts on this. Like leave a comment. Are you working from home right now? How are you liking it? Did you lose your job? Like what happened? Like let me know in the comments below. I really love to hear your thoughts on it. What did you think of my opinion, that you think my opinion is complete shit and I have no idea what I'm talking about, or do you like this idea, or do you have another idea that I might not have thought about? So yeah, love to hear your opinion. Make sure to hit the thumbs up icon. Again, I already mentioned that, but I just need to keep mentioning it because it helps out the YouTube algorithm. So also, if you want to stay up with my videos that I put out, make sure to subscribe. Subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I post new videos. I upload pretty regularly nowadays. I have this new Houdini course out called Houdini 101, and I'm posting new episodes on that every 5 days. And I have a lot of other interesting projects that I'm still working on, which are coming out soon-ish. I mean, I'm working on them, but I have a couple of interesting personal projects that I'm gonna put into tutorial format, but I'm not sure when they're gonna be out, but they're gonna be on the channel eventually. Anyway, so if you want to be notified for all of that, subscribe, hit the thumbs up icon, all that's good stuff, and I will talk to you next time. Peace.